you're gonna have to live with it. I don't know of any way to really do that.
Yeah, unless you have
the only thing you... Sorry?
unless you have another PCIe slot available. I do this actually on my system. I've got two PCIe cards, one little rinky-dink one and one my regular one. Monitor setup because
Unfortunately, we're losing Nash. I don't think he has the upstream to do this.
hello, god damn it.
Well, Nash has the upstream. It's probably his other He's configured for his other microphone.
Oh, it's probably a microphone configuration thing.
You need to turn it down a bit.
Oh.
Yep, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you, but you cut in and out every once in a while, Nash. I think your sensitivity settings aren't set in Mumble correctly for that mic.
How's this? Is this better?
All right. Well, we hear you.
All right, let's try this then.
Let's try that again. Little early in the marathon technical difficulties, folks. I apologize.
Whee!
But you were saying something about two PCI slots, PCIe.
Yeah, for my own setup, I use two different PCE cards for dual monitor setup. Sadly, I think the best option here he's going to have is to get a new motherboard.
Either that, or there's some USB DVI cards that kind of offset the calculation to a virtual frame buffer on the main graphics card, which doesn't decrease performance for the main monitors. That could work, and
well, in terms of performance, also, what's he trying to do with it?
Well, he's saying that the mouse, just moving the mouse around any sort of action is really slow, and it could be. You got to remember, PCI's the PCI bandwidth is not that fantastic. It could be you're running at too high a resolution.
No, it's just Windows trying to offset 2D calculations to this PCI card, or switch between them, and well, that kind of breaks everything. Makes your mouse slower, even on the main graphics card.
That's disappointing. Oh well, there's not really much we can do for you here, Dennis. I mean, honestly, what I would recommend is if you have two PCIe slots, one X16 and maybe an X4, you can get an X4 card, and they're not the most beastly performers in the world. But if your first card, you can get an X16 card that has two DVI outputs or two. I don't. What is the other one that AMD and NVIDIA are trying to introduce?
DisplayPort.
DisplayPort. Thank you. Two DisplayPorts or AMD's iFinity. You can
like 6.
yeah, you can hook up like the 6 monitors with that. You can try that. That might be a solution for you. But with DisplayPort, you'll need to get adapters for DVI or just get monitors that support DisplayPort. But unfortunately, alas, I don't feel there's much you can do in terms of gaining performance.
There's one other thing. You can get an USB to DVI adapter, which, if you don't need performance on the second monitor, is probably your best choice. Because they do some driver trickery with that to make it performant.
You could, you could try that. That may work. But I mean, realistically, though, I don't think you're gonna really find all that much performance increase.
Yeah, if he's trying to do something like game or something, he's definitely gonna need a new motherboard.
Yeah, I don't imagine it's actually gaming. Something tells me it's not actually gaming. Just it seems that doesn't seem like he's trying to do that. At least not with a tertiary monitor.
Well, if he's also trying to watch video on it.
Well, if you're trying to watch video on it, then I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
All right, let's move on to the next question. This one's from Twisted Puppet. Hey, Lord Cat Nash and Maluko, I'm back with another question. This time it's about a camera. I recently bought a Samsung HMX F80. The camera is awesome except for the recording time limit. It only records about 20 minutes of video before it switches over to a new file and restarts recording. I want to know how to get around this. I know that Nash did something with the firmware of his new DSLR camera to get rid of the recording limit. I was wondering if there's anything available for my camera to do the same thing. I tried searching myself, but Google has failed me. What can you guys suggest? I'd rather not have to return the camera and get something else. I really like the video quality, but the time limit is annoying.
Well, okay, on my DSLR, and on most DSLRs, they're not set up to record video because, and it's a very stupid reason involving taxation in the EU. Yep. Video cameras are taxed at a higher rate than still cameras. So, but it only qualifies as a video camera if it can record more than a certain amount of video. So what they do is they put an artificial limit on it, so you can't record more video. Therefore, it counts as a still camera. Therefore, it gets taxed less, which is a pain in the ass. But that's not your problem, because this isn't a DSLR. Your problem, and I know exactly what's causing this, is you have a flash memory problem. Flash memory's file setup will only allow you to record up to a 4 gigabyte file. You can't record anything larger than that. This is something that can be changed or altered. It's your limit is 4 gigabytes, and what's causing that 20 minutes is you're recording in 1080, which is making a huge file, and that's why it only records 20 minutes, because it hits 4 gigabytes and it goes, done, make a new file, and there unfortunately is no way around that.
There is, I don't know, depends if your camera supports it. You either have to use NTFS on the flash card.
Nope, they don't. It's FAT32.
Or exFAT.
They're FAT. Yeah, you can't change those. It's FAT32 is the problem.
Yeah, the problem is that it's formatted for FAT32, and FAT32 is 32 bits, so that means 4 gigabyte file limit. It's really not much you can do about it here.
Nope.
If there's an upgrade for exFAT, you can
There
use that.
There isn't, dude. I'm telling you. They don't make firmware upgrades for the camcorder to switch the file format. And most cards come out of the box FAT32. So they don't want customers having to go in and reformat, refigure. They want it to be plug and play. So you're kind of stuck with it. Even my DSLR, my $600 DSLR, no way to change it.
So what you have to do is put the files together, right? That's the solution here.
Yeah, so your solution is you got to stitch the files together in an editor.
Unfortunately, if he's trying to record something longer than 20 minutes, like a game, like he's out at a ball game or something, you're kind of screwed, because when you hit that 20-minute, you have to hit record again, and you're missing a few seconds of the action.
Oh, that is annoying.
Oh, okay, so this camera doesn't auto-record into a new file then.
No, they don't.
Ooh, that I see, because I've only ever dealt with hard drive cameras and DVC cameras. So
yeah, hard drive cameras are great because they do it properly.
Just go forever, yeah.
But the flash, it's convenient because you can just pop in a new card. But unfortunately, some idiot decided FAT32 is good enough, and we're stuck with it.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. 20 minutes of record time and then have to record again. I guess really the only option you have, and I know this is not what you want to do because you have an HD camera for a reason, is to not record in HD.
Yeah, if you record in a lower format, you can record longer on that 4 gigabytes. But at that point, what the hell's the point?
Yeah, why bother? Why did you bother with the camera then? That sucks.
I still have this problem with my DSLR, actually. I lifted the DSLR. It did have an artificial limit on how long you record. I lifted that, which gave me another 4 minutes. Because it was limited to like 15, 16 minutes. I did the firmware upgrade, and great, I can record as long as I want. Just limited by the flash card, which that gives me about 20 minutes recording time.
Yeah, it doesn't. That doesn't seem like there's much of an option for you here, Twisted Puppet. I do apologize.
Blame the EU, man. Well, in part the EU, and also blame the idiots. Yeah, blame the people who. Even on your cell phone, if you put in an SD card, the cell phone will go, "Well, this is ridiculous. Let's fix this shit," and it changes it from FAT32 to what is it? EF? What are the two?
exFAT. EXFAT.
Yeah, EXFAT or
RFS, I think.
Well, that's the riser one. That's only in Cyanogen.
Oh, okay.
Only Cyanogen uses that one, but there's also one of the interesting things, Nash. I got the latest Cyanogen 10 Nightly on my phone. It uses it has support for formatting SD cards into ext4 Linux file system.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's great because the file size limit on it is something like 50 50 quadrillion terabytes or some shit like that. Some ridiculous file size that until 4K comes around, I'm not going to hit.
So Twisted Puppet, if you're feeling adventurous, you can try formatting into exFAT, EXFAT, and try to see if it works.
Well, yeah, you're not going to
Maybe you get lucky.
You're not going to hurt anything by formatting it into exFAT.
Worst comes to worst, the camera's going to say, I need to format the memory.
Yeah, that's your... So you might give it a shot and see if it works, but I'm pretty sure that camera's not going to know what the hell to do with it.
Yeah, that's something you can try.
All right, the next question comes from Red Fox. Hello, Lord Cat Nash and Maluku. I have a problem that I hope you can help with. Windows stopped working with my built-in Bluetooth on my laptop. Not sure when it stopped working exactly because I don't use it often. When I enabled my Bluetooth via function F8 or by clicking on the radio button on the Bluetooth manager, it turned on, but the tray icon said the device was not ready. When troubleshooting, I found that my Bluetooth MAC address had been lost by Windows. It was now all zeros. Looking up online my laptop manufacturer's website, I uninstalled the drivers and tried to reinstall them. They won't reinstall because driver installation fails when installing the driver for Bluetooth RF bus. I've seen many people having this problem in Windows, and so one solution was to fully uninstall both Atheros Bluetooth filter driver package and Bluetooth stack for Windows by Toshiba. Run CC Cleaner to clear out the registry remains, and then reinstall again. No change for me. Error code 10, this device cannot start. That's odd because the Toshiba function overlay says that it's on when I turn it on. I used an HTD image that I used to test to make sure that my Bluetooth hardware did actually work, and it did. Unfortunately, that HTD image is half broken, and I can't restore my system from it. After plugging in a thumb drive, I noticed that my computer made a default connection error sound. The thumb drive still worked, but I checked the hardware manager and found that there was a corrupt registry error, but it wasn't bad enough to cause a thumb drive to fail. Turns out that there are many registry corruption errors that I have discovered.
Yeah. So device error 10, device cannot start, can be two things. Either device is really broken or something really went wrong in your registry or your drivers. Usually trying a different operating system, see if that thing gets the device working again.
Yeah, like use a Linux Live CD. That is a wonderful tool to test hardware problems.
Yeah. If Linux can get it running, then it's not broken.
Yeah, no, he's tested it, and it's not broken, so it's not hardware error, which means it's a registry or a driver error. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's tested it in a recovery operating system. The Bluetooth still connects there, so it sounds like to me it's a driver or a registry problem. So I would say, in that situation, I would say doing a registry cleaner, maybe. How about no? You know what? I think what might work better then is a full reinstall.
Yeah, much of everything. Debugging registry is like being lost in a swamp without light, water, and everything.
It's kind of paranoid, but a good thing to do is like once a week, make a registry backup, just in case.
Back up your registry because you never know when it's going to get fucked up.
Because Windows and the registry, even up to Windows 8, we're still dealing with the goddamn registry.
Goddamn registry, and it's still there. Here's the thing: it's still there in Windows 8, and they've basically given up on backwards compatibility in Windows 8. Mm-hmm. Why? Why is it there? What's the purpose? Just at that point, just abandon it and do what Linux or Unix does. I mean, really.
I'm serious. With all the crap about Windows 8, had they done away with the registry, I probably would have gotten it, because that is a miracle. If Linux doesn't have a registry, I don't believe OS X has a registry. It's like 2013 almost, and we still have fucking Windows with a goddamn registry, and that registry causes so many problems. And just to give you an idea how stupid it is, they tell you when you open the registry editor, it says, "Don't fucking change anything. Don't you change nothing. If you do, it's on you. Don't look at this thing sideways because it'll fuck up." And that just speaks to a bad design. If you have to tell someone looking at it, "Don't touch this," you've made a bad thing.
Don't touch this or it'll break. Whoa, what happened to my camera? Hi, camera.
Well,
It's
the
not
registry
available.
was a good
There
idea
you go.
once. Like, it had like the same interface for all programs. You can save it with the user profile. What's supposed to be quick and easy, but then became bigger and bigger and even bigger.
Registry
No,
is
no one knows
the
what's
registry
going on
is an unmanageable bitch.
Yes.
And you could be doing absolutely nothing wrong. You could just be doing normal stuff with it, and it will still fuck up all on its own. Just you install something it doesn't like, and it's like, fuck this.
Yeah, or flip a bit in the first 100 bytes, and the whole thing is basically done. Cannot be opened by anybody.
And at that point, you have to reinstall Windows.
Yay, reinstalling Windows. That's the fun thing, right?
Yeah.
You want to reinstall. Everybody wants to reinstall Windows every time, right?
Again, Linux, OS X, the fucking Mac. This is one of the great things that Macs actually get right. It just works because it doesn't have that bulky goddamn registry sucking it down.
You know, the problem with the registry, it made sense early on because, you know, we want to put all the configuration and stuff into one location, and it makes sense, you know, from a programmer's point of view. The problem with it is that it ends up being a central point of failure, and that's you know, for something as complicated as a modern computer system, you can't have that. I still don't know why Microsoft is so obsessed with getting its next file format at its next hard drive file format out. I forgot what they're called in it. The one after.
WinFS?
Yeah, the WinFS file system. They're so obsessed with that.
VFS? Something like that.
No, whatever it's called, WinFS or fucking fuck you. You can't read your own files unless we tell you to FS, whatever the hell it is.
Which, by the way, was supposed to be out with Vista.
They're so obsessed with getting that done and out into the wild that they seem to have forgotten that there's a lot of other things in that system that need to be adjusted. And getting rid of the registry should be a top priority. It really should.
This is hilarious. They are so concerned about uniformity of programming. They tell them you have to do it like this. Why can't each program have its own setup that has to be according to Microsoft settings, and just we don't need the registry?
You know what Wine does? It saves, like, for every bottle or something it does, or whatever Wine calls it, it saves its own registry, like, so you don't screw up anything.
Yeah, they call it a blob, I think, or prefix. Prefix.
Why can't each program have its own thing like that, and just, you know?
Well, when it comes to
One program wants to modify the data of another program. That's just usually a huge problem.
yeah, that's a huge
Sometimes
security
useful.
problem. But Windows is like, well, it's an option though. But yeah, but
that shit, Jesus.
guess what happens in Linux? You know what happens? Each program starts creating hidden directories in the user's home directory, and then only that program can really write to that directory, and it ends up being actually a lot easier to manage than you'd imagine. So,
Simple solution.
I don't know. Well, but then again, everything in Linux is a file anyway. I mean, outputting to the screen is a file, so everything's a file.
Everything's a file system by now.
Well,
USB
you know,
file
but you know
system.
what? It makes sense doing that. You know, it makes sense making everything a file. But I guess that's not here for how to do it. Neither here nor there. Hey, before we get on to the next question, I want to ask you guys. Let's do a little hypothetical. Let's do a little hypothetical shopping, shall we?
Okay.
You know, a lot of people at Christmas time they get money, you know, in their stockings or as a present, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you had that money? Let's say, let's do $200. Let's say you got $200 for Christmas, right?
Okay. All right.
What would you get with $200 for Christmas right now?
$200.
You don't have to spend exactly $200. I mean, it could be less than $200, but you know, whatever.
I get. I would replace the car stereo in my van with the JVC Bluetooth stereo, which also has got Android controls and iPhone controls, and it just you wireless transmission of audio, speakerphone, all that stuff built in. Very nice little thing. It's about 150, 160. That's what I'd go with.
My brother has one for €75, and he's quite happy with it. Actually, we tried it out yesterday. It's awesome. No CD player though.
How about I've got this option for you here. I just pasted it to the main chat here. But how about that? This is I'll put it on the screen here too, so you guys can see it. This is called the Minix, the Neo G4 108A. It's a dongle pocket PC for $70.
Yes.
Comes with a HDMI out, and it's a dual core. It's a dual core A9 with a quad core Mali 400 graphics system. How about that for a nice little Christmas gift? Little $70 mini PC to play with. Also comes with a remote, comes with HDMI cable, power adapter. The box that came in, obviously, and it comes with mini HDMI to proper HDMI adapter as well, and a little remote control for it too, so it could be your little thingy.
Cute. It
Doesn't
says 8 gigabytes SSD
Well,
as hard drive. Well,
Somewhat.
that's just a SD card, and you know
Well,
it.
no, it's not. You say it's just an SD card, but the internal memory on my phone is much faster than the SD card on my phone.
oh yeah.
So yeah, having that 8 gigabyte, I understand that.
Well, it's an 8 gigabyte SSD, but it's also a gigabyte of DDR3 dedicated memory too, and it also has an SD card reader as well. Not bad. And USB 2.0 new USB 2.0 slot, IR receiver, headphone and microphone jack. Not bad. Nice little gift to get the geek in your life, I think. Or you can get them.
Do we call those children of the Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, they're kind of they are the children of the Raspberry Pi, aren't they? They were spawned because the Raspberry Pi suddenly took off in popularity.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next question here. The Qcum pair asks us, for the last 17 years or so, I've had a Technics electric condenser stereo microphone, the RP3210E, lying around without ever using it. I was wondering if there was a reasonable way to connect it to my PC. It has 2 quarter-inch mono jacks, and the only adapter I have is a 5-pin DIN. Secondly, I read about many such microphones requiring phantom power. Does this apply to the missing? Does this apply if there's a battery slot? The ancient battery I found in there was thankfully barely corroded, and the contact looks cleanable. I'm guessing that kind of information would be in the manual, except that's the only thing I'm missing. One of my father's former colleagues, an audio technician, suggested using an Avid M Audio Fast Track Pro, but it's a bit expensive to buy on a whim. I'd appreciate any advice.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking.
Condenser, phantom power, very, very likely to. You have to use that.
Well, if it's got its own battery in it, you're not going to have to worry about powering it. That's the good news.
Wow, I am dude. I am. It's only 1.5 volt power type, and that's basic phantom power. But
right, it's got a battery in it.
It's not an XLR microphone, which is weird.
Well, yeah, it's the old style pre-XLR connector. That's the tricky bit. Now, you can either. There are 2 options for this. You can attempt to find an adapter, which is weird because I'm not exactly sure what that connector is called. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Do you have a picture of the connector?
Yeah. Here you go. Put it in Mumble. I found a link for it.
Yeah, I only found the Radio Museum link.
That's the one I'm looking at. But if one of those pictures, if you click on it, you can see the connector. It's a 5-pin connector. Weird little one. I think they used that for a long time for
there it is.
walkie-talkie mics.
Hey, isn't that the same 5-pin connector? Isn't that the same 5-pin connector we used to have, Nash, on keyboards?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, it's a DIN.
That's a normal DIN connector.
Yeah.
You can get adapters for that.
Yeah, you should be able to get a DIN to a quarter-inch.
Yeah, or DIN to XLR.
Or DIN to XLR, and then you can use XLR to a soundboard. But you don't want to run. But the problem is with a soundboard, you don't want to run power through that XLR. Because if it's battery powered, phantom power, you're gonna short it out. You'll destroy the microphone if you use phantom power.
Yeah, just don't turn on your phantom power.
This is a very beautiful looking microphone too.
Yeah. I was going to mention the other problem here is the impedance difference. This is the impedance on this microphone. You can't just, even if you get an XLR to quarter inch or something, it's still not a straight up plug in. You're good to go. You are going to have to get a small mixer board. It doesn't have to be a real great one. You can get just like a tiny little one-channel mixer if you look for it with an XLR input. But you've got to have some sort of mixer that can output to your computer, because the straight-up plug-in, it won't work. It will sound awful, or it might not even recognize it all. It might not even get a sound from it at all. So yeah, you're gonna need the DIN to XLR adapter, and then you're gonna need some form of small mixer to plug into the
to mix down the XLR to your computer.
So you're probably looking at under $100, but somewhere in that vicinity for a small mixer.
It's a stereo microphone. Those are kind of rare.
Yeah, it is a stereo microphone, which is interesting.
Yeah. When you have that's why you have 2 1/4-inch connectors. Yeah. One for the left channel, one for the right channel.
Well, I don't think you're going to be able to get a stereo output to this to a modern device,
unless you can get that DIN to XLR adapter and it splits out to 2 XLRs.
Yeah, if you could find a DIN that'll split to 2 XLRs, you're good. But that's going to be kind of hard to find.
Well, you could always just solder one together yourself.
Yeah, if you're feeling adventurous, sure.
I'll get a little mixer that has 2 1/4-inch inputs with a stereo mixer.
Or you could just do that too. Stereo. Stereo, mix down 2 1/4-inch inputs, or it could even be be 1/2-inch, and you can get an adapter down to the 1/4-inch. You could try that. You have a variety of options here, and really all you need to do is really look up for information and see what you can play with. I mean, I know on Amazon there are plenty of adapters for the 1/4-inch inputs that act as desktop stand mixers, desktop mixers that you can mix down various inputs into one output. You could try playing around with that.
I was wrong. When I first searched for DIN to XLR, there is a DIN connector to dual XLR output. So yeah.
There you go. You can try DIN to dual XLR. You could try that. You have a lot. Basically, you have a lot of options here. It looks like it just uses a standard AA battery, which is good. So as long as it's 1.5 volt, it should be fine. Now the only question I have is this a front address or a side address?
Don't know.
It looks like it's in the pictures. It looks like it's set up for shotgun address.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is an amazing looking microphone. The fact that you have this is amazing. This is cool. It kind of belongs in a museum, to be honest with you. But it's just so cool to have this. This would be awesome to actually use in a podcast or like a video cast and use that as a microphone. It just looks so awesome.
Seems to work as a front microphone.
Yeah, it seems to work as a front address microphone. The way it's laid out, at least. But I don't know. But this looks like an awesome microphone. This looks so awesome.
Yeah, please come and visit Mumble with this. Kind of want to hear.
Yeah, I want to hear how it sounds. If you get this up and running, you got to jump on Mumble and let us know how it sounds, because that looks awesome. That looks absolutely awesome. That's just to see how well it works after all these years. All right, let's move on to Reese Kane's question. I've got 2 questions for you. So question number 1, since I got my setup overhauled, I'm wondering what composite and component upscalers would work with my HDMI switcher. I bought a pair a few weeks ago, but the component one doesn't have RCA audio outs, only digital, and the composite one doesn't work at all. Any recommendations? So from what I gather, he's trying to upscale a composite or component, or downscale or convert a component to HDMI, which is something I had to do for a long time. And if you really are trying to scale component to HDMI, there's only one brand I'd actually recommend, and it's really expensive. It's called Geffen, Gefen. It's a professional outfit. They don't sell really consumer end electronics. They make upscalers, downscalers, side scalers, weird scalers, all sorts of crazy video things you didn't know you needed until you looked at it and said, I could probably use that for the stream. And you'll spend thousands and thousands of dollars there like I have. You'll become a great customer with them and develop a rapport with Shelly, who does sales there. Basically, I've spent a lot of money with this company. Let's just say that this is not. It is not a consumer end product. They do not sell them. They do not sell consumer end products. It's almost always guaranteed to work. Every time a product I had hasn't worked from them, I've been in touch with engineering, Okay, so they don't really have a tech support department. They have sales, and they have, oh shit, something's broken. Here's engineering. They're going to help you